Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova and I am so happy to see you today. I hope you are doing awesome and I hope you and your loved ones are taking care of the best that you can. Hopefully you guys are doing great, having a good week. You have almost made it through the week, so if this is a hard week for you, just know that you are almost done with it. Give yourself a big hug, give yourself a big pat on the back from me. You are doing a great job, you are killing it, and we are going to get through this week together. So today I'm coming at you guys from a funky angle, and it is because I am working on finishing up the last little leg of the edging on this blanket that I had showed you guys. Well, I guess it's technically not a blanket until I finish putting this edging on it. It's a scrap of fabric, but I had showed you guys during my Joann's haul some different yarns. Oh, right, I gotta like go through and enunciate, clarify where the holes are. And I had said that I wanted to put a border on this blanket. I don't actually believe I told you guys what color I ended up going with. So now you are getting the reveal as I chit chat with you guys, because you guys can see that I chose the red. Now it was a hard choice between the red and the purple. I felt like they were both really, really good for a Halloween kind of blanket with this black. So this is the color I ended up going with. And if you wondered what I'm doing right now, I just went through and did my rotary cutter holes. And once in a while, as I'm doing that, there'll be like a hole that doesn't quite go all the way through. And when that happens, I just take my little scissors and make a hole. I found that to be the easiest way to do it. I was doing it with like a needle. I've done it with like a little crochet hook, but honestly, just using these little scissors with the little like really sharp point to them seems to be the quickest and easiest way to do it. So what I wanted to come on here and show you guys and tell you guys about this process was how I ended up getting it to work for me, because last year, you might remember, around Christmas time, I was like, I'm going to do my first time ever doing a crochet border on blankets, and I bought some fabric and it just didn't go very well. I'm actually using those pieces of fabric as blankets without doing anything to them. But that was after attempting to crochet into the sides and then ended up ripping out the little bit that I did because it just was not going well. And that was partially because I tried to do a double layered blanket. I was basing it off of those tied edge blankets that people do, where they like cut the edges and then they knot them together, knotted edge blankets or something. I'm not really sure what they're called, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And the ones that I had seen of those were always like 2 layers that were tied together. But as people pointed out to me, I really didn't need a 2-layered blanket anyway. They were like very, very thick. But then the other issue I had was I was trying to poke the holes with my rotary cutter, which I will show you in just a second so you know what I'm talking about. I was trying to poke the holes through, for one, 2 layers, like I said, but I was also trying to lay the whole blanket out on the floor and go around and do it all at one time. And so this time I did it differently, and I think that the approach I took this time was so much more manageable. I actually found it to be really easy this time. So I wanted to share with you guys how I did it, because if you're like me and you trial and error it, you may discourage yourself, because like I basically didn't end up trying it again for almost a full year because it just did not go well. Like I kind of felt like it was going to be easy, and then I tried to do it the way that I did it last time and it just did not go well. So I wanted to share with you guys my finds and my I don't know, way that I did it. Of course, you're welcome to do it any way you want. As I always say with any type of thing in crafting and in crocheting, you can do things however works for you. You know, if it works for you, then that's all that really matters. So the thing that I'm doing right now, if you wondered, is after I go through with the rotary cutter, I like to go through and poke my crochet hook into each hole, because you can see the holes a little bit better. And I will do like a desk down view for you guys here in a second and show you what it looks like before you poke the holes in it with your hook, because it's almost like the fabric is self-healing. Once you poke those holes in it with the rotary cutter, it can actually be really difficult to find them when you are just trying to crochet. So I like to go through, poke my hook through them, makes them a little bit easier to find, and then I go ahead and attach back on to my crochet and work my way down. So this is the rotary cutter that I was talking about. This one happens to be a Fiskars, but they sell like a ton of different ones. You can actually get them on Amazon, not necessarily Fiskars, but they have bundles on Amazon, I've noticed. I don't know how good they are, that come with like a bunch of different heads and stuff. This one in particular was the Fiskars one, and then I think it came with a normal head, which is just like basically like a knife or a razor blade. It's just a circle, and it doesn't have these little points on it. So this is like for perforating something, so that it goes through and basically just cuts little holes as you roll it. So for example, once you open it, you push down on this little thing, it puts it like this, and then you roll this along the edge that you want to cut, and it cuts at these little spots. These are like little razors, so obviously you want to be careful with it. And then when you're done with it, you can just push back down on this and push it up. Normally I use my thumb, not my finger, but I wanted to show you guys from the front. And then it's got this buffer so that you don't cut yourself on it on accident. But that is what I have been doing with this, and I think it looks so good. I'm honestly really, really happy with it. I'm almost done. I'm actually on like this last little bit that I have that I just showed you guys me poking through. I'm just trying to get to right here where I started. So just a little bit left on this, and then I will be finished. And this is kind of like my Halloween inspired blanket just because of the color scheme of it. But also, you know, it's the perfect season for the fall. It's perfect time to have a new fluffy blanket. So I'm going to switch to desk down view, or camera down to the desk view, and show you guys like how I go about doing the perforated rolling with this. So basically I just spread it out, and I've been doing it on my desk in kind of smaller increments. So when I'm ready to move on to perforate the next section, I pull up on my yarn so I don't lose my stitches, and I get out my little rotary cutter and get it, you know, open and ready to use. And then I just make a line and push down on it and kind of roll it. My recommendation is to kind of stretch the fabric a little bit while you do this to keep it from trying to bunch as you go. Of course, when I go to film this, I don't do it as neatly as I normally do, but you get the idea. You just kind of roll it like that. And then the next thing that I do is I like to poke holes in the holes using my crochet hook. So I guess poke my way into my hole using my crochet hook. And I do this just so that the holes are a little more defined. As I'm crocheting, I can find them easier because, like I mentioned, it is basically like it's self-healing or something. You won't even see where those holes from the rotary tool are until you poke holes in it. So I just kind of rub my hook around a little bit and find the hole. And they're really easy to get into. And then on the off chance that it misses a spot, then I just use my little scissors to poke a hole. But you could really use anything to do that. You could use a skinnier crochet hook. Like I said, I did use a needle for a little while, but I just find my little scissors have like a really sharp point, and they work the best for me. Then I just put my crochet hook back on here, get my yarn, and do single crochets. So this is just really relaxing. Like, the fabric is so soft, and it's not like a super regimented project. Like, you just are kind of putting the single crochets wherever you want to. So even if it like skips a hole or whatever, you just can, you know, put the hole wherever you think looks good. And like, I don't have any special tools because I don't sew. I don't have any, like, you know, of the special self-healing mats or, you know, big fancy ruler type things that you can use to kind of line yourself up other than just like a normal ruler. But I just kind of freehanded it. And like, even when you get further away from the edges than you mean to, it still all works out. All I do if I get too far away from the edges is I still just single crochet into them, and I just kind of roll the edge down and single crochet with the edge rolled down, which I honestly think looks even better sometimes. So it's really like a very forgiving project to just like relax to. And then when I get to the corners, I like to put like 3 or 4 stitches in them. Oh, and like if you get at especially fuzzy spots and you want to cut off like a big chunk of fuzz like that, you can. It's really not a big deal. But if I get, or when I get to the corners, I like to do like 3 or 4 stitches just to work my way around the corner. And it looks a little something like this. And then I just go and poke my holes on the other side and start crocheting down that side. And then here's what I was talking about like if you end up further away from the edge than you mean to, while you're rolling your rotary tool, sometimes you just like kind of shift down and don't really realize it. All I do is just hold it a little rolled at the edge while I crochet. Okay, so I have finished it. This is what it looks like. I know we're kind of zoomed in. The corners, I put like like 3 or 4 stitches on each of the corners. And, so, you know, it's not perfect at all by any means, but I am very happy with it. And now I've got kind of, you know, a spooky vibes Halloween sort of blanket with the black and the gray and the white and the red. I really liked working with this yarn. This is the, let me put it over me a little bit so you can see it. This is the Big Twist value that they started doing like prints and variegations in. So this is what it looks like. I really like it. This is the Cherry Mix colorway, so I'm really, really in love with that. I'm definitely going to get some more of these like variegated ones that they have, but these are 4 weights. They're just value acrylics. Super happy that they started doing more than just solids in those because I absolutely adore them. But here is how it came out. And I think these are perfect, especially around like the holidays, because you can easily go and buy fabric at Joann's or wherever. And then you have like a little project that you can make it into something a little cooler. You can do coordinating colors on the edges. You could do Halloween blankets. You could do fall, like harvesty vibe blankets. You could do Christmas blankets. Definitely going to do some Christmas blankets. But very happy with that. And it, like, since this blanket in particular didn't have any color to it, whatever color I chose to do the edges in was really a blank slate for like taking this blanket a certain way. I think it looks so good. And this is just a single crochet border. So like you could do a single crochet border and then you could go back around and do something more involved, like a picot stitch or something, if you wanted it to have like a little bit more to it. But for this one, I'm just going to do this. So really, really happy with that. Hopefully you guys found this video to be a little bit helpful. Like I said, I did make some errors when I was in the learning process of doing this, so I thought I would give you guys like a little bit of tips that I learned myself by trial and error. But I'm very happy with it, and honestly this was so relaxing and so easy once I knew what I was doing. Like once I got the hang of doing it, working into this really soft fabric was actually like super nice. Like it felt very relaxing, and like I don't know, once the holes are already there, you literally can just feel for them. You don't really need to see them that well. So it was just super soft. Like this is really, really fluffy. So something super, super soft, and just crocheting single crochets. It's like a nice mindless task. I honestly would recommend this for just like something nice and relaxing and chill to do. Also, this doesn't take very long. If you just sit down and do it easily, you can just sit down and have a project for a couple of hours and finish it. So anyways, guys, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you and your loved ones have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys again real soon. Bye, guys.